Hey everybody, I am back again today with something very special to show you. So, I'm going to be reading this book to you, and it is called By Faith. It is a pictorial interpretation of Hebrews 11, and it is a very beautiful book. It was written and illustrated by Alyssa. She is my sister-in-law, Chris's younger sister, and I've done a couple, you've met her before, I've done a couple videos with her, we've sung a couple songs together, so not only is she a good songwriter, singer, fantastic dancer, but she is very good at art as well. Now, the drawings in here are all done with Sharpie, so just for all you artists out there, you can make beautiful things with Sharpies. You probably know that already, though. So Alyssa made this book for my father-in-law, her dad, for his birthday. Now, I've talked about him in a bunch of my other videos. He is a history teacher at the high school here. He is passionate about a lot of different stuff. And Hebrews 11 is his favorite chapter in the Bible. So I'll just read the little dedication that Alyssa put together for him. For Dad. Your love for this chapter inspired me to illustrate it for you. Each person written about in Hebrews 11 was just as human and flawed as we are, but God used them because of their faith. So, without further ado, I will read you the book and I will show you pictures as we go along. So, faith in action. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what is visible. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings, and by faith, Abel still speaks, even though he is dead. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Beautiful words and accompanied by very beautiful drawings. You can see she has like Abel written in like the beard, Cain, and Enoch is also like kind of written in the beard there. By faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world and became heir of righteousness that is in keeping with faith. Now, I forgot to mention before, but Alyssa kind of added some little parts in, like, of her own writing and what she thought about it, and kind of like interpretive, but very beautiful. So I'm going to also read those things in between. So this is called the Noah Family Rain Dance. Not only did Noah have incredible faith, but his family believed as well. They supported him with building his ship and other preparations. Maybe they occasionally had their doubts or wondered if Dad was going crazy, but imagine the joy on the upper deck as the rain began to fall. You can see she has some great drawings of the rain dance. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. By faith, he made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs of the same promise. For he was looking forward to the city whose architect and builder is God. And by faith, even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. And so from this one man, and he as good as dead, came descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as countless as the sands on the seashore. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have an opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. You can kind of see, it's almost like she's like the New York City skyline, kind of people looking forward to it. I don't know. By faith, Abraham, when God tested him, offered Isaac as a sacrifice. He who had embraced the promises was about to sacrifice his only son, even though God had said to him, "It is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned." Abraham reasoned that God could even raise the dead, so in a manner of speaking, he did receive Isaac back from death. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in regard to their future. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed each of Joseph's sons and worshipped as he leaned on the top of his staff. I love how Jacob looks like a really happy dude. And then here's another little stanza or word from Alyssa. Although these two women are not written about in the chapter of Hebrews 11, Rachel and Leah were women of faith like their husband Jacob. She has them there. By faith, Joseph, when his end was near, spoke about the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt and gave instructions concerning the burial of his bones. And just a little side note here, the coat of many colors in the story of Joseph has been one of my favorites in the Old Testament. I don't know why, I just love it. By faith, Moses' parents hid him for 3 months after he was born, because they saw he was no ordinary child, and they were not afraid of the king's edict. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw him who is invisible. By faith he kept the Passover and the application of blood, so that the destroyer of the firstborn would not touch the firstborn of Israel. By faith, the people passed through the Red Sea as on dry land, but when the Egyptians tried to do so, they were drowned. It's also a really cool picture. I wonder what that must have been like when the Red Sea, when the seas parted and the children of Israel walked through. I always kind of imagine. But I think this is a beautiful interpretation of it. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after the army had marched around them for 7 days. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. And what more shall I say? I do not have time to tell about Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, about David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, and gained what was promised, who shut the mouths of lions, quenched the fury of the flames, and escaped the edge of the sword, whose weakness was turned to strength, and who became powerful in battle, and routed foreign armies. Women received back their dead, raised to life again. There were others who were tortured, refusing to be released so that they might gain an even better resurrection. Some faced jeers and flogging, and even chains and imprisonment. They were put to death by stoning. They were sawed in two. They were killed by the sword. They went about in sheepskins and goatskins. The world was not worthy of them. They wandered in deserts and mountains, living in caves and holes in the ground. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised, since God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect. Then there's just another little stanza from Alyssa. That is the end of Hebrews 11, but not the end of this book. I want to leave you with my favorite verses, Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. And then it's a picture of her writing more. So here it is, Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Faith. So, I hope this book was an encouragement to you because, of course, the words are very meaningful and very beautiful and powerful and kind of shocking, but real. And then, of course, the drawings that accompany them, I really think are coming from somewhere that's very deep. So, I don't know, I just really wanted to share it with you today. And if you think that this book should get published, say it in the comments below, because I want to see this with a hardcover on bookshelves. Okay? All right, so I hope you all have a really great week, and I hope you had a good Valentine's Day on Monday, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.